All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new review. And today I am reviewing both episodes 5 and 6 of The Penguin. I didn't get a chance to get my review up last week, so I figured I would do a hybrid today. But I'm going to make it very quick for episode 5 because 5 was very much just it was the middle of the pack in regards to the episodes, and it felt like a middle of the season episode. In this particular episode, both Vic and Penguin are being sought after by Falcone and Sophia, so they have to go into hiding. And what ends up happening is Vic takes him back to his old neighborhood, which has been devastated by the floods, and it hasn't been fixed, and the whole city's not paying attention to that part of the city, and they figure they could hide there. And that's kind of where they hole up, and Vic finds an individual in the city that he wants to avoid at all costs. But the guy actually saw Vic go into this building, and we know there's going to be more with that. But they just kind of hide out here, and at the very end of the episode, Penguin realizes that there's an underground passageway, an old subway that never, or train station down below that never came to fruition or was out of commission. And he figured that's where he can start building, his empire and get this drug out onto the streets. But he only had 2 mushrooms left from the whole pack that had been, that he had to actually steal away from the thugs. Now, that leads us to episode 6, which I started to know something very strange and out of place by the end of this episode. And I'll talk about that at the very end. But in this episode, this is where we really see Oswald come to power by the end of the episode. And in this episode, you find out that his mom is having a lot of trouble living in this place. She's not doing well physically, mentally. Vic also has his problems. He runs into this individual from the previous episode and has to make a life and death situation in regards to this individual, which puts him on an interesting path where he is getting deeper and deeper into this life. And the Penguin does embrace him, and, he is his right-hand man. Now, during this episode, Sophia's trying to find leverage, basically, to take down the Joker, or I say Joker, Penguin, wants to take down the Penguin. And so she ends up trying to find somebody that he loves personally. She thinks his mom is dead. And so she goes after the girl that, one of the girls, the girl that we've seen over and over again that the Penguin really likes and left behind. She wouldn't go with him. Sophia goes to kill her. And I'm not going to say what ends up happening in that scene, but the very final shot of this episode is Sophia realizing something big. And it does leave on a massive cliffhanger because of that final scene. Now, here's what was out of place during this episode. There is a meeting with all the different gangs and all the different families there in Gotham, and Penguin does bring them into the fold. But during this scene, it looked like it was at a shipping yard, and, it was in a big open area with all their vehicles and, shipping containers off to the sides. And I was like, damn, this would be an amazing place for Batman to show up and to take care of some business. And I was like, are they actually going to pull it off? Are they going to bring Batman into it, at least for a minute here? And they didn't, okay? And here's what I realized when I was watching that scene, that there is no sign of Batman in this universe. We know the GCPD exists. We've seen some of those individuals throughout the season. But not once have we seen Gordon. Not once have we seen the bat signal. Not once have we seen any type of graffiti in the city that even suggests that Batman exists. Nobody is even talking about Batman like they were at the beginning of the Batman film, which is weird because this takes place in the Batman universe. There needs to be something there to connect it, and they've decided to leave it out completely. Now, there are 2 more episodes, and we'll see if they do anything to connect it, but I think by not connecting it, that's not a good decision to make. You really do need to make these things feel connected. And right now, this feels like it's its own thing, and which is okay, but it is in the Batman universe. Like, Batman still has to have a presence, even though he may not be there physically. And right now, there's not a sign of him at all. All right, guys, so there's my update. We still have Sophia. Kristen Milotti is still killing it as that character, and Colin Farrell's still doing a great job as Penguin. You've got the guy who plays Vic. All three of these characters are doing an amazing job in this show, and we're going to see where this leads into these final 2 episodes. All right, guys, I will be back next week with the next episode, episode 7. So there are only 8 episodes a season. We're getting down to it, and we're going to see how it all wraps up. We'll see you on the next review.